Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats because British politics is in complete turmoil. Keir Starmer and Labour are in free fall, and it's Reform UK that's shaking up the entire game. Let's dive into the chaos. In a shocking turn of events, Reform UK, once considered a minor party, is now overtaking Labour in key battlegrounds. Yes, you heard that right. Reform UK is gaining ground fast, and it's sending shockwaves through the Labour Party. Recent polls suggest they could win up to 120 seats in the next general election, a move that could completely derail Labour's chances of forming a government. Why is this happening? Simple. Voters are fed up. People are tired of Starmer's watered-down approach. They want bold, decisive leadership, and Reform UK is promising just that. Immigration, the NHS, and skyrocketing food prices are top concerns for voters, and Reform UK is addressing these head-on. Meanwhile, Labour's own supporters are growing increasingly disillusioned. A staggering 42% of Labour voters have expressed disappointment in Starmer's leadership. That's a massive chunk of the base saying, "This isn't good enough." And it gets worse. In Broxtowe, 20 Labour councillors resigned en masse, slamming Starmer's leadership as a centrist dictatorship. Their departure cost Labour control of the council and led to the creation of a new party, the Broxtowe Independents. These long-time Labour loyalists cited the party's abandonment of its core values and mishandling of critical issues like the WASPy women in Gaza as reasons for their departure. This mass exodus is a wake-up call for Labour. Starmer's centralisation push and his so-called super councils plan have alienated even the party's local leaders, with critics calling it a direct assault on local democracy. But the backlash doesn't end there. Pensioners, a key voting bloc, are furious over Starmer's decision to slash the winter fuel allowance by means testing it. For many elderly citizens, that's the difference between heating their homes and going hungry during winter. This betrayal of pensioners has sparked outrage, with many accusing Starmer of turning his back on the most vulnerable in society. Meanwhile, Labour's handling of businesses and the economy is also raising eyebrows. Starmer's proposed £40 billion in new business taxes has CEOs running for the hills. Companies are warning of job cuts and, in some cases, even planning to relocate overseas. Experts predict over 100,000 jobs could be lost if these policies go through, a devastating blow to workers and the economy. Businesses create jobs, but Starmer's heavy-handed approach is driving them away. And let's talk about the NHS. Hospitals are reintroducing COVID-era restrictions like mask mandates, not just for COVID but for the flu as well. Why? Because the NHS is at breaking point. With half the number of hospital beds now compared to 2,000 and a growing population, the system is buckling under the pressure. The UK's bed-to-patient ratio is embarrassingly low compared to countries like Germany. Labour had years to fix this, but instead, the NHS is held together by duct tape and prayers. Starmer's popularity is taking a nosedive. He's now the most unpopular leader after just 5 months in office since the 1970s. Labour's losing support across the board. In council by-elections, they are losing seats faster than they can gain them. Starmer's trying to please everyone but is failing to connect with anyone. Even Labour's own MPs are beginning to turn on him. And then there's the scandal that's shaking Labour to its core. During Starmer's tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions, critics claim he failed to properly address grooming gangs preying on vulnerable young girls. High-profile figures, including Elon Musk, are calling for an investigation. Reports describe the situation as an epidemic, raising serious questions about Starmer's competence and accountability. The latest polling data is Labour's worst nightmare. If an election were held today, Labour could lose up to 200 seats. That's not just bad, it's catastrophic. Even ex-Tory voters who initially switched to Labour are now reconsidering. Starmer's refusal to tackle immigration and his unclear economic strategy are turning voters away in droves. Reform UK, on the other hand, is capitalising on Labour's weaknesses. They are addressing the real concerns of everyday people, and it's paying off. Labour's collapse isn't just bad news for the party. It's reshaping British politics entirely. The two-party system is facing its biggest challenge yet, and voters are demanding something new. So, what's next for Starmer and Labour? Can they recover, or are they on a fast track to political irrelevance? One thing's for sure, British politics is changing, and the old rules no longer apply. What do you think about all of this? Are we witnessing the end of Labour as we know it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates on the issues shaping Britain's future. Together, we can make a difference.